What's up, guys? Jake here, and today I thought we would break down this video that I saw where Donald Trump says that the biggest threat to the world is nuclear warming. Now, I personally don't think that nukes are real, and we'll get into that. But I just wanted to show you this is another example of Trump showing his true colors, showing you that he works for the people at the tippity top of the pyramid. He is nothing more than a puppet on the world stage, a tool of the elite, if you will. And of course, he's on here mucking it up with Tucker Carlson, another tool, another puppet on the world stage. Let's see what these guys are talking about here.
You said at the time when you were president that going to war with Russia, either hot war or cold war, would drive Russia into an alliance with China.
I did.
That would displace us as the most powerful nation.
I did. But we have a bigger problem. The bigger problem is the weaponry. The weaponry today is so powerful. This isn't like Second World War where we have army tanks running around shooting each other. This is weapons the likes of which the world has never seen before. They have them and we have them.
Weapons like the world has never seen before, right? Gotta love Trump always doing his little squeezy hands, right? So he's already pushing that there's these world-ending bombs, these world-ending weapons, and they have them, the bad guys, and we have them, us, the good guys. And so there's this ultimate standoff of good guys and bad guys who have these world-ending weapons. Ooh, so scary. Please tell us more, Trump.
And China has them less, but within 5 years, China will have equal to us.
China has them less, but in 5 years, they'll be equal. Oh, China has them less. Oh, okay. It's good news. We're ahead of China by 5 years, according to Trump. In the nuclear arms department. Okay.
China, I'm talking about nuclear. China has the beginnings of a very big, very powerful nuclear. They're short 5 years. They had started much later. Russia and us are comparable. Massive power, massive. And that's one of the things.
More than people understand.
More than people understand, yeah. Yeah, more.
Were you
They don't
surprised?
understand the power. If you look at Hiroshima, as some people call it, if you look at Nagasaki, you look at those two events took place many, many years ago. I multiply that power times 500.
Oh, so now he's taking an instance from the past, which I believe the story we get is a bit fabricated, as I do think that nuclear bombs, world-ending bombs don't exist. So now he's saying that the most powerful stuff that we had back then, they've got 500 times more powerful. So it becomes a case of like, I've got the biggest, hugest, most awesome weapon in the world, and I'm a good guy, so I'm not going to use it. But the bad guys have it, and they might use it at any time. You never know. So we might have to aim our awesome weapon. They're aiming their weapon at us. We got ourselves a standoff with the world's most awesome badass weapons that you could possibly imagine. It'll blow up the world a million times over. It'll blow up the world. It'll blow up the moon. It'll blow up the sun. All right? Let me tell you something right now. Quite frankly, it's the most powerful thing you could possibly imagine. It will blow up the sun. And you know who's going to pay for the whole thing? China. Please tell us more, Trump.
That's what you're talking about. Where it actually melted the granite. You know, granite is unmeltable by blowtorches.
Yes.
But the granite, if you look at granite areas, it's like water that got, hardened, like an ice skating rink. It melted the granite. If you look at that.
Trump was there. He saw it. He saw the melted granite. Just after it happened, he saw the granite looking like melted water, of course. He knows all about it.
And multiply it times 500.
Melted granite times 500. What's the answer? Really, really, really freaking melted granite is the answer.
That's what you're talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
When I listen to people talking about global warming, that the ocean will rise in the next 300 years by 1/8 of an inch, and they talk about this is our problem. Our big problem is nuclear warming, and nobody even talks about it. The environmentalists talk about all this nonsense in many cases. Look, I'm an environmentalist also, I guess, in my own way, because I've done a good job with the environment, but nobody talks about nuclear, the problem we have, the biggest problem we have in the whole world. It's not global warming, it's nuclear warming.
All right, so here's what's going on here. The left likes to say that the ice caps are melting, the oceans are rising, global warming. So the left likes to push the environmental agenda, global warming, climate change, while the right side likes to poo-poo on that. They like to poo-poo on that. And in that case, I would agree. But then he goes to the shill stage number 1, and he says nuclear warming is the biggest problem, the biggest threat in the world. So that's it. That's Trump showing his true colors. He'll say something that's true, that the environmental nonsense coming out of the left about global warming is not really an issue. That I can agree with. Global warming is bullshit. To put it lightly, the globe is fake and it's not warming. So both of those two things, when you put them together, equal bullshit. So Trump will give you a little piece of truth when he poo-poos on global warming. But then he turns around and says nuclear warming is the biggest threat in the world, which is even more bullshit than global warming, if you think about it. World-ending bombs are the biggest threat in the world. Okay. And so the only thing that has kept us from being blown up at this point, there just hasn't been a crazy enough, powerful enough bad guy to press the button yet. But there could be one day. There could be one day. There just hasn't quite been a bad enough guy, a crazy enough fella who's powerful enough and has the capability, hasn't quite found a way to press the button yet. But you know there will be. We're on a countdown to a crazy fella who's powerful and has the capability to control a nuclear weapon 500 times more powerful than the ones of the past. Can aim it right at you. Yes, you watching right now, they will aim it at you and it will blow up the world 500 times over. It'll blow up the moon. It'll blow up the sun. It's going to be an awesome show.
And all it takes is one madman.
All it takes is one madman. You hear it straight from Trump. All it takes is just one crazy fella. Just one. Look at Tucker Carlson right here. I wish I had like a cricket sound effect going right here. Like,
You're going to have a problem the likes of which the world has never seen. And it's only a matter of seconds. You don't have to wait 200 to 300 years for it to happen.
So what you're saying is demonstrably true. Why is this not something our leaders talk about or the press talks about?
Because I don't think they're smart. I don't think they get it. You know, my uncle was a professor, a great professor at MIT for a long time. I think he has the longest, Dr. John Trump. And he would talk about a lot of different things, and it was very interesting to me. For years, I talked to him, and he said, you know, someday they'll have a suitcase, and in that suitcase, it'll be nuclear, and you'll blow up New York City out of a suitcase.
okay, that's bullshit. You can't blow up New York City out of a suitcase. What they're doing here is figuring out a way to, in the future, blow up a place like New York City, for example. You could, let's say if you were the bad guys and you wanted to trick everyone, you could blow up New York City with bombs, regular bombs that they do have. And then you could claim it was done by a madman with a nuclear suitcase from China or Russia or Korea or wherever. So now we're going to have to put you through extensive checkpoints wherever you go because you or somebody also might have a nuclear suitcase bomb. So all they got to do is blow up one city, and then they can claim it was done by a suitcase bomb. And then suddenly, every time you go to the airport, they got to run everybody through extensive security, way worse than now because, you know, everyone has suitcases. Any of those could be nuclear suitcases. So, see where they're going with this? So it always comes down to more restrictions, more red tape for you, me, us. So he's talking about something that's not real. Someone having a suitcase bomb that blows up an entire city. Sure, that doesn't exist. Don't believe it for a second. But, like I said, blowing up a city is possible. And saying it was done by a guy with a suitcase is also possible. So you better hope the bad guys don't ever do that.
The Biden people know the power of nuclear weapons. They now control our arsenal. They don't seem worried about this.
That's because they don't understand life. They don't understand whatever it is that you have to understand. You know,
what was that? What don't they understand, Trump? I think that is the statement of the video right there. Very important. Let's get this straight.
Ability and destruction. And so I watch all of this happening, and it's so sad.
But can I say so? The Biden people know the power of nuclear weapons. They now control our arsenal. They don't seem worried about this.
That's because they don't understand life. They don't understand whatever it is that you have to understand. You know,
they don't understand life. They don't understand whatever it is you have to understand. Trump, ladies and gentlemen. They don't understand life. They don't understand what it is you need to understand. Of course. Why aren't they talking about it? They're not smart. They don't understand life. They just don't know how to be smart and understand life, quite frankly.
I was preparing for a debate. I wouldn't say it was a long preparation, but I did want to talk about nuclear because I consider it to be the single greatest threat the world has, far greater than global warming, like not even a contest. And I had these people come down who were very smart, very expert. And I said, so when we start talking about nuclear in a debate, how would you handle it? And they looked at me, one in particular, and said, sir, you can't talk about it. You cannot talk about it. I said, what does that mean? He said, it is so massive, it is so destructive that you cannot talk about it. I understood exactly what he meant. And we stayed away from it for the most part. But now Putin's mentioning it all the time. We don't mention, but Putin's always mentioning it. You've heard him say it. We are a nuclear power.
We weren't talking about it, and then Putin was mentioning it. So now I have to mention it 500 times in this interview. People weren't talking about it, and then they were talking about it. And so you're not supposed to talk about it, but I want to talk about it. You know, you're not supposed to use the N-word, nuclear, but I'm saying it. I'm saying it as many times as I want to say it. All right, I wasn't supposed to, but I am. They don't like it. I'm doing it. We didn't used to. We do now. Putin does it sometimes. All right, China, 5 years from now, you're going to be caught up.
I said, that's the first time I've heard a major country. You know, you do hear it talked about, and I did a good job. I did a great job with North Korea.
I did a good job. I did a great job.
I did a really freaking fantastic job. I did a monumental, massive job, all right? And you know who didn't do so good of a job? China, all right? China did not do as good of a job on the environment as me, all right? The environment was good, the economy was good. I was the best. I did the bestest job. I deserve a gold star from teacher, all right?
Jong-un, you went with me on a trip. You insulted him.
Oh, yes, another puppet on the world stage. Kim Jong-un. See, two puppets, shills of a feather, flock together. I did a video about North Korea already. You should go check that out.
You insulted him, which didn't make my life too easy, but that's okay. But you were there, one of the few, and it was an amazing. It had to be one of the most incredible experiences for you,
For sure.
but it was amazing.
It had to be one of the greatest experiences of your life, right, Tucker? Wasn't it the most amazing experience you ever had?
Yes, for sure. It totally was, Mr. Trump. Jeez, get a room, you two. Ugh.
We had thousands of reporters. They weren't treated particularly nicely either, by the way, but I got along great with him. And because of that, started rough, remember, with, Rocket Man, Little Rocket Man? And he said, I have a button on my desk, a red button. I said, I have a red button on my desk too. Mine's bigger and mine works. Yours doesn't.
What?
And this went on for a couple of months. And then all of a sudden, the logjam was broken and he wanted to meet. And we did meet. And we get along great. To this day, we get along great. He won't talk to Biden. He won't even talk to these people. He won't even talk to them. He has no respect for him. He's a man. If he respects you, he'll respect you. He wouldn't talk to Obama. Obama tried to get meetings with him. He wouldn't meet with him. He met with me. I met with him twice. I would have had a deal worked out with him. He's got tremendous nuclear capability. It's the single biggest problem. Maybe this show's more important than even I thought it might be, because somebody's got to understand what has to happen, and they have to de-escalate.
So how would you do that now?
Well, now, so you have a problem. You got this crazy world is blowing up, and the United States has absolutely no say. And Macron, who's a friend of mine, is over with China, kissing his ass, okay, in China.
Ooh, kissing his ass. He drops a kissing an ass line. Ooh, Trump. Ooh, now you know he means business.
I said, France is now going to China. You take a look at Saudi Arabia. Look at what happened. They're great people. They wanted to help us. He goes over and gets a fist pump. You know what a fist pump means? Don't shake my hand because your hand's dirty. That's what a fist pump is. They got it. They were so insulted.
Oh, yes, he looks very insulted. They were so insulted that Joe fist bumped him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this guy right here is just an actor in a costume. And this guy is wearing a mask. We've already went over that in my live streams and in past videos. This is a dude in a mask right here. So this is a fake Joe Biden. This is probably some fake Saudi guy. They just, have him wear a costume. And put these guys in the background to make it look legit, have them fist bump. Now Trump's like,
They were disgusted. They couldn't believe that he actually wanted to do a fist bump. They were so disrespected. I can't believe what he did to Saudi Arabia. I can't believe how disrespectful he was to Saudis doing a fist bump. That's something that you just don't do.
So that was your latest Trump news. Apparently, this video got like over 1 million views on YouTube because Trump claims that our biggest threat in the whole world, nuclear warming. So global warming, take a back seat. Climate change, whatever. You want to know what the real threat is according to Donnie? According to the Trumpster? Nuclear warming. That's right. So if If you don't want the nuclear warming to happen, better vote for Trump. Trump 2024. Woo! All right. That concludes that.